Hi guys, I will compare between AC and DC welders to see which one is better, and we will see the electrodes that we can use with both. This is an alternative current welder. I borrowed it from my friend, and he was using it like this. This is too risky. So I will repair it fast. But first, let's open it and see what's inside. You see, this big transformer is the responsible for the AC current that we are welding with. We see here two windings, the primary and the secondary. The number of turns in the primary is much higher than the secondary, because this is a step-down transformer that can put out a high current up to 160 amps. We can control the current with this knob from the front. It chooses a different number of turns from the primary winding, and it has 7 presets, which is a bad design, because it can't give us precise amperage, especially when we are welding thin metal. This welding machine is cheap. The reason is that the windings are made from aluminium, and the problem with aluminium is that it has a higher resistance than copper. This will cause a current loss as heat. You see guys, when I am welding, the welder is vibrating because of the electromagnetic power of the transformer, and this is why the DC welder is more efficient. This is my cheap DC welder. I am using it for a long time without problem. You see, it is more complicated than the AC welder. I will explain how it works as simple as I can. The alternating current comes from the switch to this component, which is the bridge rectifier. It rectifies it to direct current with high voltage. From there the current goes to the capacitor. In this case there is 6. It smooths it so it doesn't go to 0 twice every cycle. And then from the capacitor to the IGBT. It is this component here, and there is 2. It can handle high voltage and high amperage. That is why it has been used here. They alternate in their work. When one is on, the other is off. And this controls the on and off state of the IGBT and the duration of it, another circuit. The signal reaches one of these IGBTs, and it closes passing the current to this transformer. Then it opens and the other closes, but in the reverse polarity, generating an alternative current in the transformer. Then the transformer decreases the voltage, allowing the amperage to get higher. The AC current gets to these 6 diodes to be rectified to a direct current that passes to this choke. It helps ignite the arc even in low current. Then it is very important. The question is why we convert AC to DC, then to AC to convert it back to DC. I think we do that to control the current and the frequency using the IGBT, to weld multiple metals with one machine. And thanks to the IGBT, we have machines now that can weld and cut metals with the plasma. And for us hobbyist welders, it gave us function like hot start, to make igniting the arc easier and anti-stick to reduce the electrode stacking. Now I will try to weld using these electrodes that are made for steel and stainless steel and aluminium with both welders. First with the DC welder using 6013 3.2 mm or 1/8 inch. Here I'm using the AC welder with 6013. The amperage was high on the preset 5, so I used instead 4. Using this electrode I couldn't see any major difference between the welders, except the sound, and the weld splatter was more on the AC welder. Now I'm using 7018 on DC electrode positive. It runs smooth. You see with the AC, the 7018 refused to ignite, so I increased the amperage, but I couldn't maintain a continuous arc. There is an AC 7018 that can run with this welder. I couldn't find it here. You see the difference in the welds. I am sorry for the quality of the weld. I was concentrating on the camera. This is the first time using stainless steel rod. I never used butter rod. This is too good. Please subscribe, that means a lot to me. You see the difference, it is great, but it is 9 times the price of 6013, and there is no difference between the welders. Now we will weld the aluminium. The preheat is a must to weld successfully. This is the DC welder and it welds easily. But when I am using the AC welder, it won't ignite no matter what I do. It just explodes. Using the DC welder, I will close this hole. This is the result. The DC wins. So when it is good to use the AC welder. The only use the AC is better than the DC welder is in front of the magnetic field. It causes arc blow in DC welders, like you see here. But when I am using the AC welder, it welds easily without problem.